Hi everyone, Matt McGuire here, and we're going to look at another educational technology today. And this is called the Lightboard, and we're going to look briefly today at what the Lightboard is, how it works, and what you might use it for. So the Lightboard essentially is a piece of glass that comes between myself and the camera, and it's surrounded by some white LED lights, a microphone on the top, a light shining down from the corner that you can't see. And then on the other side, two monitors, one which shows my presentation or any other images, videos that I want to embed into this. And the other monitor might have some cues or some prompts that for the presenter, and then the camera itself. As you can see, the room is completely black. We've the fine folks at UMB have painted this black, and it's that 00000 black pigment color. And we've also used black slides here. If you don't use a black slide, then basically what happens is you lose the presenter itself. So in the same slide, using a black slide allows you to have the presenter actually still write on these words. So it takes a little getting used to. You can draw some lines, point to certain things, draw some diagrams, and that's the beautiful thing about the Lightboard, is that it allows you to explain, kind of support some of those concepts that you're presenting. Now, one thing that you do have to multitask as the presenter, because if you move on to the next slide, these images, of course, won't disappear that you've drawn. They'll go right with you on your next slide. So the Lightboard is great for using any kind of descriptions that you need to support your ideas. This is a quarter note. These are beamed eighth notes. And we've got some beamed 16th notes here. Notice the difference is the double line on the beam 16ths and the single beam on the 8ths. It does take some getting used to. As you can see, I'm still trying. If you're writing with precision on lines, it does take a bit of practice. You can also insert diagrams and charts and things like that. But as you can see here, because of this Venn diagram has a green background, you lose my hand, you lose my body anytime I'm behind that. But more importantly, you lose the ability to write on that. So if you are looking to kind of doctor up some of your images or graphs, you have to make sure that this same Venn diagram that I've used here, just take that green background out and use black, and then you'll be able to write on that pretty seamlessly. You can also cover a whole screen, and you can kind of move around and talk this way. If we want to talk about the Earth's rotation and how far it is from the sun, and all the way down to our lost planet status of Pluto. And again, I'm just conscious to multitask and wipe that off as I'm teaching the lesson and moving on to the next slide. Now you get good at figuring out how to use your slides. So maybe rather than having this full thing presented this way, you may want to have it over on the side and you're talking this way and kind of drawing attention to these things or using your marker that way to design. Now, with every technology, Marshall McLuhan and Neil Postman tell us there's advantages, but there's also disadvantages of technologies. And so I just wanted to do that justice and just talk about a little bit of the disservices or some of the challenges that might come with this technology. So the first one is pretty simple. As you can see, I'm being blocked by this image right now. So the presenter can be blocked if you're using different colors than black. And so you have to really practice and get good at knowing where to be and where to stand and how to design your presentation. The biggest one for me, some of the disadvantages, is that the Lightboard encourages lecturing. It's not a very collaborative tool. Unless there's another person in the room with me right now, then they're not going to be able to draw on this Lightboard, and those people watching the video, whether it be live or a recorded video, they're not going to be too interactive either. Now, yes, you can embed and use this technology with other tools, other learning and presentation tools as well, like Microsoft Teams and Zoom and Google Earth Google Classroom and those things. But the breakout rooms, you can have that collaborative piece, but this itself, using the Lightboard, is a lecture style approach. And so it does obsolesce that co-present face-to-face learning. So you have to realize that the Lightboard is used for specific purposes, and you might want to avoid it for others. So this isn't a turnkey product. You have to do some research to be able to know what you're purchasing. You have to get it shipped to where you are, and then you have to get it set up. And that does require a lot of work. To get things working properly, it does require a lot of skill and patience and time. Once you do have things set up, it works pretty seamlessly after that, and it's just a small upkeep cost with some of your materials. But there is that, and there is a lot to it. I'll show you basically what's under the hood here as well. Now, the lights and cameras and microphones and the monitors, everything can add up quickly, so things can get expensive. This mostly one-time cost with your Lightboard technology, so keep that in mind for those on a budget. And this tool does require some post-production. So unless you're practicing and getting this perfect, you're probably going to have a couple edits and go through in the post-production phase and splice things together. When I showed you a picture of this studio, I had to splice the audio that I'm speaking right now with the picture that I inserted into that video production. So there is that as well. Not really a disadvantage, just maybe a challenge or something to keep in mind. Not all markers are created equally. You'll find that some markers lose their luster quite quickly and don't really mark well. And then these neon markers are exceptional for showing up and for calling attention, explaining certain things. So, and you can obviously multiple colors if you're looking to have some diversity as well. Writing it is a little cumbersome. It does take some getting used to. You know, looking up here at your board at the same time as trying to face the camera. If you're looking at having some specific diagrams or things like, you know, when you're writing those musical notes, it does take an extra focus and some attention and some practice. Lastly, if you're just like green screens, if you're wearing a black shirt and you've got black slides and a black background, then your torso is going to disappear in that instance. So dress appropriately, wear some contrasting colors when you are presenting or recording. So that's a really quick introduction to the Lightboard technology. I'm interested to know how you might use the Lightboard as a teaching and learning tool and what you see as some benefits and disadvantages of the technology.